And a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, about a minute before afternoon. We're just a minute early for the start of this one, a restart of yesterday's Peach Belt Conference women's soccer matchup. Thanks for tuning in today here on the Surge Sports Network. Francis Marion University, the visiting Patriots taking on Georgia Southwestern State University Lady Hurricanes. We'll get that graphic reset here for you, get the correct time on there. This one a early save for the Lady Hurricanes, as there is 43. And there we go. The match clock still a second or two off, but pretty close to where we're at on the official scoreboard game clock. Again, thanks for tuning in. You're watching Peach Belt Conference action. Let's see if we can. I'm going to turn down that brightness as the sun is kind of creeping through what our overcast skies here in Americus. We'll try to lighten it up on your screen a little bit, take some of that brightness away. We'll be back in a moment as I make a quick camera adjustment. Thanks for tuning in. That looks a little bit better. Here we go. Well, Francis Marion is led by third-year head coach Lindsay Morgan. Coach Morgan, no changes from yesterday's starting 11 for her coming into this one. So we'll run that down for you. Let you know who's out there for Francis Marion. The Patriots wearing their navy road kits with the white bar across the chest, red letters and white trim. Here's a shot. This one will come and be behind the goal for a Georgia Southwestern goal kick. The starting keeper for Francis Marion is number 0, Rachel Hennenkamp. Joining her on the pitch this afternoon for the Patriots, number 3, Megan Mizuraka. Number 7, junior Jessica Garrett. Number 10, sophomore Daly McEwen. Number 11, freshman Michaela Chavis. Sophomore, number 12, Brooke Kennedy. Number 13, freshman Rihanna Orello. Junior, number 14, Sierra Cartano. Sophomore, number 16, Emma Hall. Sophomore, number 19, Sarah Mall. And freshman, number 21, Abigail Williams. Georgia Southwestern makes 2 small changes to their starting roster here for second-year coach Enrique Rodriguez. He's assisted by first-year coach Katie Roberts. Starters for Georgia Southwestern, a new keeper in this one, number 1, Alina Rodriguez. Rodriguez scoops up that ball. Player down for Francis Marion. Referee comes to check on her, and we will, in fact, stop the clock. Hopefully she'll be all right. Out comes the training staff for Francis Marion to check on the injured player. So we'll change. This gives us a chance to change the game clock to... No, we're okay. So there's the updated clock time for you with the stoppage and play. We'll give you an introduction of our starters. Again, there's some late changes, scratches from yesterday's starting 11 for GSW. We'll point those out to you as we go along. Starting 11 for Coach Rodriguez. Yesterday it was Hannah Marone in the goal. This time it's the debut of a new keeper from Macon, Georgia. A transfer from Andrew College, 5'5" junior, Alina Rodriguez, number 0. Joining her on the back line for the Lady Hurricanes will be 5'6" senior from Columbus, Georgia, Rachel Cochran. I believe that was, as the players will come off the field. 5'4" sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia is number 24, Shannon Walsh. 5'1" junior from Hiram, Georgia, number 4, Michelle Gustafson. Replacing Josie Nix in the lineup today will be a freshman from Marietta, Georgia, number 28, Shyla Stoops. In the midfield for GSW, number 5, freshman from Sewanee, Georgia, 5'1", freshman number 5, Elisa Barr. 5'6" junior from Decatur, Georgia's number 8, Allison Rugel. Number 11 is Layla Ahmed. She's a 5'3" sophomore from Marietta, Georgia. Number 17, 5'11" freshman from Jacksonville, Florida, number 17, Ashlyn Baker. And then up front for the Lady Canes, leading the offensive charge, a 5'3" senior from right here in Americus, number 9, Ella Hawkins. And number 15, a 5'5" freshman from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Duda Just. There you go. There's your starting 11 for GSW in this one. Looks like we're back to play here. Sure. Yeah. All right. Make a little shift in our camera work here, and we'll get play has resumed. Let's get ahead and get that changed on the scoreboard and get that running again, as we are now under 40 minutes. Sorry, we're kind of running with a skeleton crew today, and it's showing here in the early going. There we go. You should see it back up on your screen, and we're matched up with the game clock once again, 39 minutes and some change to go in the first half. Lady Hurricanes make a slight shift. There we go. I'll get it out in their uniforms today. They're still wearing their primarily white kits, but they have flipped over to their alternate set, which is more of a Vegas gold sand-colored sleeves versus the GSW University gold Adidas. See if it brings any more luck, because yesterday it was a match in the first half that was controlled by the Patriots. 3-1 was the score at halftime before a second lightning delay and then an ensuing thunderstorm that just went on for several hours, and lightning during all along the way eventually led to it just being too late to get it in, and that's why we had to reschedule the match and start from scratch, 0-0. So Francis Marion led 3-1 at the break. That was after there was a first half rain delay or lightning delay as well. 2-1 at the first lightning break. And then there was about 8 minutes left in the half, and Francis Marion added a third goal and went up at the break 3-1. As they were walking off the field, the lightning delay was called, and they never had an opportunity to come back and resume play. So here we go. We'll see if Coach Rodriguez and the Lady Canes made the adjustments necessary again, try to overcome some of the shortcomings from yesterday, as Francis Marion had built that lead. I was talking to a few of the folks from our staff, and I just said it's a shame. You feel bad for some of the young ladies on the Francis Marion side. They had 2 players yesterday, 2 freshmen that scored, and it was their first collegiate goal. So We'll make sure that they get the archive of the video, but at the end of the day, it's just wiped away from their statistics, and that's kind of too bad, especially for those, if there were folks watching. A little breeze kicking up here in the press perch. A couple of folks have now finally trickled in and brought their lawn chairs. Those following, I'm sure, their favorite player, their daughter or friend playing out there today. A couple of parents primarily out in those camping chairs on the far side of the field. Corner kick coming up for Francis Marion. Again, fans, don't forget we also have a live stream. If you are working off any of the social media links from yesterday, those links were for yesterday's match will not be the same one as today. That corner kick, a low line drive. GSW will try to kick it away. And in fact, we'll get it out here as it crosses the midfield stripe. But again, a live stat stream is available, but the link is different from today's match than yesterday. So yesterday's information, no good. You'll have to go back to either our website, gswcanes.com, gswcanes.com. In fact, actually, that's right, I put the live stats link in the description of today's YouTube broadcast. So if you just go down to the description of today's broadcast, there'll be a link that'll take you to the live stats. You can open that up in another browser window, and that way bounce back and forth and keep up your stats and your numbers and track your favorite player and see how she's doing today. Again, the live stats link here in the description of today's YouTube broadcast. Don't forget, fans, we've had a good swell of increase of subscribers to our YouTube station. Thanks for tuning in and subscribing to our channel. It's the best way to go if you are a fan of the Hurricane Athletics, because you can, choose to get that subscription notice, and that way whenever we go live, you'll receive an alert and you'll know to tune in, and you don't have to set your calendar, set your phone, set your watch, whatever you got to do. You can get that notification so that the minute we go live, you'll know when we're on the air, and then you can just click on over and follow the action for that day. Broadcasting our men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, baseball, softball, and even some GSW tennis in the spring as well. Looks like we're getting ready for our first substitution of the match, and it's going to be Francis Marion bringing in, calling on its reserves here, and the play, in fact, there's the whistle. A couple of players we met yesterday. They saw significant time in the first half yesterday. Francis Marion substitution number 4, Kylie Barr. And number 23, Anna Capra. Kylie Barr was one of the players to score a goal yesterday. So she'll try to put the Patriots back and give them an early lead here. GSW's looking for that breakaway opportunity. Ella Hawkins definitely a threat to burst through the line and get that breakaway goal or a one-on-one opportunity. Rodriguez turns the kick. Nice stop by Cochran. She saved a goal on that one. Heads up play by Rachel Cochran to drop back as the ball bounced away from Rodriguez. Whew. And GSW avoids the first threat of the match. Rodriguez comes up to the very top of the 18, was still in her safe zone, but the ball bounces and trickles away. Recovered by the player, as you saw from Frances Marion. The turn, the fire, just not enough pace to get it past Rachel Cochran, who was in position, and gets herself a save, a team save on that one to keep this one scoreless. Frances Marion, so as they had to wipe the slate clean from yesterday, we can still look at yesterday's stat sheet and season box score, so that'll mean with everything unchanged. With everything unchanged in this one. Daly McEwen, the primary threat so far this season for Frances Marion. She leads the team by a country mile, as they would say. 6 goals, no assists for McEwen. 6 goals to lead the Patriots. Then there's a handful of ladies that have a goal apiece, including Faith Allen, number 5, number 20, Kylie McElroy, and number 19, Sarah Mall. Those 3 ladies each have a goal this season, and that accounts for the 9 Frances Marion goals that have been scored. Well, the Patriots got on the board early, and yesterday, I believe it was in the 3rd minute that they scored off a rebound. Followed up her own shot. I believe that was Orello, one of those freshman goals. She followed up a deflection on her own shot that deflected off the keeper and then put it back in. And that came within the opening 3 minutes of the match yesterday to get the early lead. This one, obviously, a little bit different pace and beneficial to the Hurricanes since it's still scoreless. Definitely a challenge for these two teams to work out a schedule. Peach Belt Conference schedule already set, and then any openings that they had, I'm sure, was as they're looking to reschedule this date, just wouldn't have worked out with their non-conference affairs and whatnot. So it was either wait till pretty much the regular season was over, or just stay an extra night and get one in here early on Sunday. And actually looks like the coaches kind of came together and made a good decision here. As a trek from Florence, South Carolina is not just a hop, skip, and a jump away for the ladies. So they get this trip in. They get this one in the books. So the foul on GSW. Here comes the kick from Frances Marion. Nice long ball to the top of the 18. Bounces by everybody, but eventually cleared away by Rugel. Hennenkamp, the Patriots goalkeeper, has started all 7 and now all 8 matches for the ladies this year. Frances Marion has a record overall of 2-5. They are 0-3 in conference play. Here's a ball down inside, turning. Brings it back. It's around the defender. Thankfully, nice help on the backside there as she turned. Pushing the back, and that'll draw the foul. So again, Frances Marion 2-5 overall, 0-3 in conference play. GSW is 2-6 overall, and the Lady Hurricanes are also 0-3. So something's got to give. One of these two teams going home with their first Peach Belt Conference win of the year. All 8 matches, again, have been started by Hennenkamp, the Frances Marion keeper. She has allowed 20 goals, made 38 stops, a .655 save percentage, and a 2.97 goals allowed average. A couple more subs coming in for Frances Marion. Number 6 and number 9. Substitutions for Frances Marion: number 6, Carly Gauthier. Number 9, Christina Rice. So a couple more fresh sets of legs coming in for Frances Marion. Well, we mentioned who was leading. McEwen leading the Patriots in scoring. How about for on the other side of things? Well, that would be Ella Hawkins. Hawkins making her 51st career start. Leads GSW with 4 goals. She's played now over 600 minutes, or will play over 600 minutes today. She's averaging 2 shots per match. So number 9 has been the spark plug. Number 9, Hawkins scored the one Georgia Southwestern goal yesterday to make it a 2-1 deficit, cut the lead in half before Frances Marion, as I mentioned earlier, came back from the first lightning break in the final 8 minutes of the half and punched in another one to go in at 3-1 at the break. But none of that matters or counts, as it turns out. But again, Hawkins showing Frances Marion a little bit what she can do on the offensive end with her goal yesterday. Behind Hawkins on the scoring lead or scoring list for Georgia Southwestern, and we won't see this young lady today, is a freshman, Emily Collum. She has 2 goals and an assist here in her freshman campaign, but she is recovering from an injury and has not been cleared. But she hopes to have her back by the midweek game coming up. We'll see how her training and rehab goes. If I'm not mistaken, concussion protocol for Collum. See if she'll be back and ready to go. She provided a little nice compliment to Hawkins. Much like Frances Marion, it kind of, after the opening, or after the leading score, it kind of drops off. We've got a couple of ladies that have a goal apiece for Georgia Southwestern, and they're coming from the midfield and from the back, and we'll introduce you to those. That young lady right there with the ball is one of the players that we're talking about. Allison Rugel. Allison's in her first season for Georgia Southwestern. She's a junior transfer. She's got a goal and an assist. She'll go over 700 minutes today in playing time this season, and she leads the squad with a 2.6 shots per game average. Another player down. Oh, and it's number 6. The referee's checking on her, and I hope she'll be all right. The player down, I believe, if I saw correctly, is 6, Gauthier. And you can hear her in pain from up here crying, so hopefully she'll be just shooken up a little bit on the play. They're checking. Clock has stopped. Oop, I need to stop the clock. My bad there. Clock has been stopped, and 24:48 is the official time. So we'll change that here with the stoppage in play. So as they check on the injured player, we'll just go ahead and just show you a little bit. We talked about how even, if you 2-5 versus 2-6, 0-3 both in conference, you would expect the statistics to be pretty similar on paper as well, and they are. So as we're looking at the stat comparison between those two teams, both teams roughly in the range of 1 goal per game, and both are surrendering 3, or in the case of the Lady Hurricanes, about 3.5 goals per game. So stats there as would be expected. On paper, anyway, very similar. Shots per game, GSW is slight edge in that category. Shot percentage in favor of the Patriots. And as you can see, the shots on goal percentage flips back to the Lady Hurricanes on their advantage. But 22-18, the corner kick side, as you read on your screen. The biggest glaring difference in a category would come on the save side. GSW Lady Canes have been forced to make 60 saves this season, while Frances Marion has only had to make 38. Opponents, Lady Canes, have forced their opponents to make a few more saves over the course of play, but from top to bottom, fairly similar in their stats here about as we near the midway point of the 2018 season. Still checking on the injured player. At least she's sitting up, and that's a good sign. She's been able to stand, which is good, and a well-deserved round of applause from the crowd as she'll try to. That's good to see, walking herself to the sideline. So, Coach Morgan just clarifying that she can bring in, or who she'll bring in for her sub here for the injured player. Looks like it'll be number 22, perhaps. I think that's a new face. I'm up above. I didn't see her check in. Play about to resume here. And we're back on. For Francis Marion, number 22 is Jackie D'Amico. In fact, the new player that did check in, D'Amico, a freshman. Freshman from Staten Island, New York. Ball to the feet of Gustafson. And Gustafson, actually the other Georgia Southwestern player with a goal this season, Michelle Gustafson. Gustafson, a junior, making her 29th career start. One goal this season, but she's been an anchor of that defensive line now coming up here over 700 minutes of play. Has the one goal, but again, not what she's being asked to do, but she has been the anchor of the GSW defense, and again leads the team in minutes played so far this season. This corner kick gets up, shot up over the top of the crossbar. Lady Hurricanes try to capitalize on their first corner kick of the match, but can't quite connect. Still no score in this one. That'll be Baker who'll turn and kick it out. Throw in coming up for Francis Marion. A chance for the defense to drop back a little bit. And another throw in for Cochran as she'll take a few more strides up the line this time. Work her way towards the midfield stripe, and we'll try it again. Third straight time. Take a few more strides up, Rachel. We'll get her right up to midfield. It's one way to get the ball up the field, I guess you could say. Let's go for number 4. As we're unfortunately unable to get this one on the screen, as she is right behind us, right under our nose. We'll see. Will Rachel get called on for this one? Yeah, how about it? 5 straight throw-ins. All right, GSW, now you've got the ball down here deep in the offensive end. Let's see what you can do with it. Double team is quickly taken away, and it's a short-lived run for that march down the field for the Lady Canes. Again, first half of action. For those of you that may have tuned in, first half of action for this restart of originally scheduled match from yesterday. It was rained out. Long shot, deflection off of Baker, and it'll go in for a corner kick. Heading down to the corner to take this one will be Emma Hall. Hands up, kicks away. This one right in front of the box, and Rodriguez is there. Chest high catch to make that one. This kick is gonna be cut off by Hawkins. Little space, good feed. Can Hawkins get there? Not quite. Lady Hurricanes are getting ready to make their first substitution of the afternoon. Josie Nix will get back in. She started yesterday's match. Hawkins from the break. Can she get a shot off? She does, but it's to the left of the pipe, and a sub if the Lady Canes want it, and they do. Here, checking into the match for the Lady Hurricanes is number 26, Josie Nix. Substitutions checking in. I could hear him checking in. It'll be for Francis Marion. It'll be number 2 at the break. Next opportunity she has to check in. Number 2 is Kaylee Barney. Josie Nix just checking in here. Put to work right away down in the near corner. Feed in. On the short hop, it was Gustafson who puts it back out And the Hurricanes will try to run. It's 2-on-3, but if they can get through the line, Hawkins there. Was she outrunning? Not quite. Calmly beating Hawkins to that ball was McEwen. Whistle blown and a foul on Frances Marion. Long kick, going to clear everybody and two-hop to the keeper. Well, the shot tally so far favoring Frances Marion 7-2. 5 of them have been on goal. Georgia Southwestern yet to put one on goal. A couple of corners for Frances Marion, one corner for GSW here in the early going. I say early going, we're getting to the latter part of the first half now in this one. Fouls, GSW has been whistled for 3, Frances Marion for 2 at this point in the match. Substitutions coming in, it's going to be for both teams. Substitutions for both teams. Checking in for Frances Marion is number 2, Kaylee Varney. Lady Hurricanes substitution number 10, Shelby Mills. So each team brings in a fresh set of legs on that substitution opportunity. Under 15 to go in the first half of action here from Hurricane Field. Overcast skies, but is actually made for very comfortable. There's a little bit of a breeze to take away from the humidity. Just enough of a breeze, hardly enough to move the flag sticks, but or the the flags in the corners, or as I look back at our American flag, fairly still, but a little bit of a breeze here in the tower, just enough to keep the gnats away and fight off some of the humidity. Again, as I mentioned, in overcast skies all around us, rain in the forecast, but not until closer to the evening. Lisa Barr with a shot, gonna go right. Coach Morgan, I guess that's one of those things about it being nobody here, a relatively small crowd on the reschedule. But you can hear all the talking from both benches, and that was kind of awkward silence as everybody's just listening to hear what Coach Morgan wanted to say to her ladies. And in not so many words, she wanted them to pick up their hustle a little bit. Again, sometimes I don't know what you guys can hear on the mic. The crowd noise is relatively minimal. Georgia Southwestern's bench is to our left here from the tower. Of course, Frances Marion there on the right-hand side. Likewise, I'm sure they can hear us chatting away up here. The benches can hear what we say, so. Very intimate setting on a quiet Sunday in Americus. Just over 12 minutes to go. Rugel with the ball on the near side. We'll see if she can get something going. A couple of white jerseys in the middle of the field, but that one crossed over, trying to find Mills, a little too far in front. She'll try to race it down, gets to it. Now it'll be a battle for the ball. GSW maintains, long shot, one hopper. Keeper there to stop it.
Don't be afraid to hold the ball for us. Come on.
This punt will get to the midfield stripe. First touch, GSW. Third touch, GSW.
Together, Kobe.
Back to the middle of the field it goes. Intercepted.
Hey. Get there, get there. Come on, Shia. Involved in the middle.
Last couple shots have gone the way of Georgia Southwestern, so the GSW has been more of the team on the attack here over about the last 10 minutes. It's been kind of a momentum shifting a little bit back to the Lady Hurricanes side, as it was Francis Marion in the early going that had more of the looks
And go, and keep going. Keep going.
and the ball on their half of the offensive end. Their offensive end.
You know what I'm saying, Layla? You play there. Keep going. Join them. Combine. 1, 2, and we go.
Long kick, header away. You forget that GSW is a team that is coming off a winless season. Lady Hurricanes
Go back, Elisa. Kobe. Let's go. Let's go. No.
now with 2 wins in Enrique's second year at the helm. He came in late to his first year, started basically in July, and not a lot of time to bring in his own players or replace the ones that had left, and he still had open slots on the roster. So he comes in July, has about a month before the start of last season. Lady Hurricanes go winless in that opening campaign for Rodriguez, and now here 2 wins in his second season. Signs of improvement for Georgia Southwestern. Their wins came at Southern Wesleyan. It was the second match of the year. 3-2 win at Southern Wesleyan, and a 2-1 victory at Spring Hill College. Long kick is going to get, I thought that was going to get past everybody. Flicked just off the head and into the arms of Rodriguez. It was, with the flick for Francis Marion, was Barr. Throwing it to this side now. Try to find Ahmed, she'll get it. Out to Barr.
Get back in, Elisa. Get back in, Elisa. Go. Elisa.
Nice move by Ahmed. Now she's got some space. She'll try to feed it in for Hawkins, headed away.
Good. Top now. Get back in, Jasmine. Good.
Both Spring Hill and Southern Wesleyan are teams that GSW has played before. They'll get her for the offsides on this one. So it's not like that was a scheduling move just to get some wins. These are teams the Lady Hurricanes have played in the past, so that was good. Losses here after that Spring Hill, though. They've lost their last 5. Middle Georgia, Warner, Clayton State, Georgia College, and North Georgia. The last 5 opponents for GSW. During that stretch, GSW has managed 3 scores. They've been outscored 6-11, 18-3 in those 5. Nope, I'm sorry, I forgot the Middle Georgia one. 21-3 in those 5 matches. So a substitution for GSW. Number 12 will make her way in. Georgia Southwestern substitution number 12, Brenna Mendonca. California, Susanville, California native. The junior playing in her first season for the Lady Hurricanes is Mendonca. If you look at Francis Marion's schedule, they've season opening loss at Newberry, then a 4-2 win against Coker. That one was at home, but then they played a neutral site game against Mars Hill and won 1-0. Catawba, 3-1 loss. Young Harris, they held with the Mountain Lions That's a hard-earned 1-0 defeat there for Young Harris. Common opponents followed for Francis Marion, and that would be North Georgia. North Georgia beat Francis Marion 4-1, and Georgia College beat the Patriots 5-1. Just over 6 minutes to go until the halftime break. Ahmed bounces away. She's going to have some space to turn at least. Ooh, had a little space, just couldn't quite get there. Just not quite, just a quarter of a step off on that one to have enough time to turn and get a look to fire. Ahmed will take the shot, deflection. There's Rugel. Cleared away by Francis Marion, and it'll be a race. The number fours of both teams race that one down. Gustafson flicks it to the side. Here comes Francis Marion. That's a good ball. That's going to be trouble. The flick. Oh, that had trouble written all over it, but it fought off of that one. Rodriguez takes the angle. Forces the quick shot, maybe just a hair earlier than she wanted to shoot it. And right there for the Lady Hurricanes as well as Ashlyn Baker to put her body in position to force a shot that just didn't have anything on it. Gotta stick with it. There's Baker, she'll clear it out, and a throw-in ensues for Francis Marion. Hands up, kicks away. That's a good ball, but going up and get it is Rodriguez. Just a hair too much pace for her to get her offensive players in there to put a head on it. Whistle blown on Francis Marion. Much to the dismay of Barr. She has a word with the referee. So we'll flip sides of the field. This kind of similar location from where Francis Marion just took their long kick from. We'll see if the Lady Hurricanes have any more success off of it. Here comes the kick from GSW, and this one, similar result. Maybe not quite as high as the Francis Marion kick, but a very similar result. Keeper comes and cleanly grabs it. Good job by Nix to get it out of the play, and GSW will drift back, get back in defensive position, and await the throw-in coming up from Francis Marion. Here it is. Ball's back in play now with 2.5 to go in the first half. Hawkins surveying the situation, ends up going off of a Francis Marion player back to the feet of the ladies in blue. Slight mist now starting to fall here at Hurricane Field. Just the lightest of mist. Stepping up is Gustafson. She'll kick it away. Flicked back by Mills. And now she'll pursue. Yep, foul on Hawkins. Foul on Hawkins. Referee is. Then the Francis Marion sideline know that he saw it, whistled it. Play will resume here as the hand is up. And the kick away off to the side as that's the play by Chavis. This one over everybody. It'll hop to the keeper. Clears the line and an easy pick for Rodriguez to get that one. Oh shoot, 30 seconds to go. We missed the 1 minute announcement. 10 seconds remaining. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Well, that'll do it for the halftime break, or for the first half of action, ladies and gentlemen. No score in this one. We're going to just make a couple of quick announcements, and then we'll end up muting our broadcast. In fact, we'll go ahead and mute it now. 15 minutes is on the clock. Make a note to yourself. Come on back in 15, and you can catch the start of the second half of action here. No score in this one. Very even contest through 45. We'll be back shortly. Again, a 15-minute break. 14:45 is officially on the clock as we come back and join us for the second half of action. You're watching Georgia Southwestern State University Women's Soccer on the Surge Sports Network. And the second half of action is underway. Both teams take a good bit of time huddling up and talking about strategy for the second half. Francis Marion went well beyond there's a little bit of a grass berm, not particularly high, but a little bit of grass berm that goes to the right behind the, runs along the, behind the goal on the right-hand side of your screen. The one Francis Marion will be approaching this half. And they went all the way down the hill behind it onto the inner practice fields down below to talk strategy and talk things over for the second half. So a long break for Francis Marion down there to talk about things. A little bit different story than last night when these two teams met. And again, in what ends up getting washed away, it was 3-1 in favor of the Patriots when play was called and suspended and then eventually ended after last night's storms. No score in this one in the stat line. Pretty close, maybe even favoring a little bit in the second portion of the half, favoring the Hurricanes a little bit. Let's get that feed back up here so we can take a peek. 9-5 was the shot tally. First half shot tally 9-5 in favor of Francis Marion, 7 of which were on goal. 2 Lady Hurricane shots on goal in the opening 45 minutes. Corners 2-1 in favor of Francis Marion. Offsides, GSW committed 3 to Francis Marion's 1. Fouls, GSW was whistled for 8. Doubling up Francis Marion, who had 4 infractions in the opening 45 minutes. Ball in. This is trouble. Ooh, wow. Big time opportunity there for the Patriots to punch one in as the keeper and the charging player almost got to the ball at the same time. Somehow it gets past both of them. Play resumes. Now GSW will go down on their end of the field. Good ball out front for Francis Marion. Right on her hip, though, as she let her turn. Francis Marion not happy with that call. They heard the whistle and was probably thinking penalty kick, but that was 19 and 15 battling down there. So Sarah Mall for Francis Marion. That's actually Jasmine Westbrook for the Lady Hurricanes in there. Miss Jasmine was the other player involved in that soft scuffle, if that's possible, down in the corner inside the 18. But play resumes. 40 and a half to go. Flicked back and kicked away, ready for a throw-in. And the sun pops out. Uh-oh, chance to turn. Shot up over the top of the crossbar. Well out of play. Sun busting through. The clouds have kind of spread out, dissipated a little bit, and gone from more of a gray to the whitish version. So some blue skies peeking through, and now the sunshine coming down on the Lady Hurricanes and Patriots at the start of the second half of this one.
Shelby, let's win it. Shelby, win it. You ready, Ashley? You ready, Rachel? Do that. Central.
Going to stop the clock. 38:57 is the time
Ashley, start the ball, Ashley.
on the official game clock.
Come on.
Hand is up, kick is away. Glad to see 6 back in the game.
What's in the line? Hey.
This time the kick is up. And Rodriguez will slide and make the bucket catch.
Central, Lela. Central. Pressure. Again. Central, Jasmine! Good.
Baker kicks it out, throw in coming for Francis Marion.
Alisa, face it! The ball, Alisa! Go, if you're free! Vital! Vital, Lela! Come on! Watch it through, China! Step, do that, step! Get there, Alisa! Lela, ay, Alisa! Turn! Go ahead, Juanito! Space, Lela, there's space, no feet next time. Good. Alisa, you in there, come on, girl, come on! Mitchie, face it! Support now!
Throw in, sub coming in for Francis Marion, first sub of the second half, and it'll be number 3 to check in for FMU.
Lela, switch with Alisa. Alisa, go high.
Starter Megan Mizuraka. Checking back into the match for Francis Marion, number 3, Megan Mizuraka.
Connect.
Collision there, whistle called on Francis Marion. JSW will put it down.
Step up, White. Step up. Easy, Ashley. Ashley, just make sure that the ball stays correctly. Lela, just
Slight difference in our clock to the game clock, so we're going to pause it for a moment and catch back up to them.
second ball, Alisa.
Perfect. right in sync. 35 minutes as we approach. 35 minutes to go in this one. And they'll call bar for the push in the back on that one. Obviously, Coach Rodriguez not going to be happy with that, as he was upset with the no call down here on this end. Comes right back with the call there. Let's see who. I thought we had a sub coming in. Did not see who it was. Can't have the sub on the foul, though, so they're just bringing the ball back. Okay. That's more like it. Flick back, couple hops, and Rodriguez there to pull it in. Kicked away. We'll throw it in one more time. And that one will go off of Francis Marion and be a goal kick for the Lady Hurricanes. Good job by Barr, but that second pass, or that first pass, intercepted. She did a good job to get possession momentarily. Georgia Southwestern substitution. Lady Canes get ready for the throw-in. Sub for Francis Marion as well. Georgia Southwestern substitution number 12 back in the match, Brenna Medonka. And checking in for Francis Marion back in the match, number 10, Daly McEwen. Well, as I mentioned earlier, McEwen the leading scorer for Francis Marion this season. 6 goals. 6 of the 9 Francis Marion goals have come off the boot of number 10, and she just checks back in. Medonka saw some action latter part of the first half, and now she's back on here in the second with about 31 minutes to go in regulation. A little slow to get up for the Lady Hurricanes. Shyla Stoops. She just came back from an injury, a small injury if I'm not mistaken. I hate to see her get shaking up the freshman there. Ball kicked out. A Hurricane throw-in coming up on the left side. Right in front of head coach Rodriguez. Try it again. Gustafson will. Main target's going to be either Hawkins, or it looks like perhaps he'll call a player over to help out, or the last option will be back to Ahmed, who's the one he goes to. Good ball in there. The flick by Stoops is right to the right. That ball had split the defense there. Could have led to something, but a tough header from that far out for Stoops, but she gives it a shot. Race to the near side. That's a good job by Ahmed. There was 2 blue jerseys following her, and she's the one that squirts through for the kick, but possession will still come out for Francis Marion, and it'll give them an opportunity to make a substitution as well. Checking in the match, number 5, Faith Allen. Could be a decisive play in the match coming here as both teams barking out strategy, trying to figure out how the chess match here to try to figure out what will happen on this exchange. Francis Marion, just as you can see on your screen, just a yard or so out from the 18. We'll go with a roller to the top. The kicks, another roller, through it again. The save not made. It looks like Rodriguez's momentum took her over the goal line. Offsides. Offsides the call. Clear it. I was going to say from here, you couldn't tell if Rodriguez had made it. Man, that squirted right through some legs, right under everybody. And then Rodriguez makes the save. Looked like her momentum moved her backwards a little bit, waiting for the call, but it's an offsides on Francis Marion. Still no score. Wow, Lady Canes with a break on that one. Corner kick coming up for the Patriots for FMU. This will be their 3rd corner of the match. Hands up, kicks away. This one just a little bit above the height of the crossbar, bouncing around, dangerously cleared finally by the Lady Canes and up to the last line for GSW. A foul on GSW, another costly foul. They'll get a push on this one. It's going to set up another free kick. Second one from close range, relatively close range in the last 2-3 minutes.
Outside the 18, Jasmine. Inside, Jasmine.
Referee walks off the distance, gets the wall back to the acceptable yardage away from the ball.
Watch your right, Alina.
And here comes the kick. The kick is away. This time she'll go top shelf, misses just. I believe that one might have just went to the right and over the crossbar. Well, in a match where you've been watching the momentum swings back and forth early on, Francis Marion, second half of the opening session, seemed like GSW was on their end a lot more, pushing and pushing for a score. here in the beginning of the third, it's been back to the side of the ladies in blue. It's Frances Marion that's been on the doorstep, moving towards that decisive first goal. Both defenses have held up, though.
Hey, Brenna. Go over there on the right. Go ahead. Right there, good. Austin, go for the ball, please. Do not hesitate. It's you.
Kick in. Foul on Frances Marion. Well, so there's whistles have been a little more frequent in the second half. That's going to be the 7th foul against Frances Marion. GSW has been whistled for 11. Here's the cross. Lisa there. Rodriguez with this. The pick for GSW. Ooh. Hard collision there with Rugel this time. She will get whistled for the foul. The second FMU player goes down in that exchange. They're going to stop the clock. Clock has been stopped. Official match clock says 21:48. So we'll let a few seconds tick off before we get back on cue. Back in the match for GSW number 5, Elisa Barr. And we are back on track with our time. Ahmed's got options. She's going to dump it out right. Shot for the Lady Hurricanes. No. Right of the post. Had a good breakaway opportunity there. At least a good look.
That's all that I ask. When you have it, take your chances. Go for it. Ella, better run next time. She needs to find you. Win it, White. Win it.
Barr, who had just checked in, provides a little bit of a spark here. Here's back to the middle. Deflected out. Corner kick coming up for the Lady Hurricanes. Going down to take the kick for GSW is Dudejust.
Make it count, Ella. Do that. Give us a chance. Away. Go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Under 20 to go. Corner kick is up. High ball. Bouncing around. And there's in! Lady Canes with a score! Georgia Southwestern takes the lead. Big time header off the corner kick. We'll have to stop the clock and catch back up.
Now, hey, now more than ever now. More than ever now.
Georgia Southwestern holds its first lead. I'll have to go back to the record books to see how long it's been since GSW's been ahead in a Peach Belt Conference match. 19 minutes to go. We got to wait for the clock to catch up to us here as a little bit, as it's actually 18:55 on the official match clock. And we're back on sync. Clock is correct. Kick away off the GSW foul. This one bouncing around, and Rodriguez will come up with it. Francis Marion waiting for a substitution at their next opportunity. And a substitution now finally for Francis Marion. They'll get that opportunity to bring in, and it's, again, good to see her back in the match off of a stoppage of play earlier to check on her. It's checking in for Francis Marion, number 6, Carly Gauthier. Nice little pass right there to Barr. She's going to dribble past one layer of defense. Now she comes in. Here's a shot. Short hops to the keeper. Good play. Well, I talked about it earlier. Now that was a short burst. It was a short burst, but again, it's been a run of momentum here, back and forth in this one, and it just feels like, at least again, that might have been a short window, but based on the last two exchanges, GSW seems to have the momentum swung back in their favor. The Georgia Southwestern goal was scored by Elisa Barr. That's why I didn't say it out loud. I could have swore it was a taller body in there that had headed it in. Perhaps we'll have to go back and look at the replay of that one. I may have seen it wrong. Replay in. I don't know why play is being stopped. I don't know why the clock's being stopped. But we'll wait. The clock is sitting at 15:41. That was a stoppage of time. That does happen when the leading team subs, but it's later in the match. Clock has resumed anyway. 13:30 is on the official game clock. And now we're back in sync. There were subs for both teams. One player from each team came in on that last exchange, that last whistle. Be there first. There's Gustafson. She's got perhaps somebody down the corner. Can't quite get it there. Here's Ahmed. She'll just kick it through. Deflection. Francis Marion substitution number 13, Rihanna Orello. Orello's back in. Both plays go. Here's Elisa Barr. Off the foot of Barr. Shot save. Excellent stop right at her, though. A hard missile. She's able to deflect back and just tap it back into her hand so that she can get the clean pick. Great look for Georgia Southwestern there and a chance to really put the heat on FMU, but they do not convert, and it's still a one-goal match. Under 14 to go. There's Barr again. Here comes Barr. She's deciding what to go. It goes off of a Francis Marion player, and it will roll in a direction that allows them to regain possession. Francis Marion on the attack with that short ball. Now Blues marching towards the 18 box. This one will get played nicely on the Lady Canes defense. Got to play. Sub coming in for Francis Marion. They choose not to sub here on this corner kick. Now, ball out to the corner. Shot. She had plenty of time to cock it back, but it rolls to the left of the pipe and over the end line. Now the sub. Francis Marion substitution number 5, Faith Allen. Ball down on the turf. Tension starting to pick up a little bit as time is starting to become a bit of a factor as we approach 10 minutes to go. This ball fed through, and that one bounces just left of the post as it gets through everybody and a sub in for Georgia Southwestern. Checking back into the match for Georgia Southwestern, number 28, Shyla Stoops. For those of you at home curious to know the answer to this question, and there may be none of you, throw in first. We'll pick up play here as they turn. The last Peach Belt Conference win for Georgia Southwestern, and we're still a ways away from that happening. A long 9 minutes. Last conference win. 2010. 2010. There's a ball in there. No, offsides. Offsides, no goal. And that will send coach down the line. Flag is up. Wave it off. No goal. Wow. Ooh, hard collision. And now the tension picks up. Now the chatter picks up. Now the speed of play. We've got a player down, and they will stop the clock. 7:56. We're right in sync with the game match on that one. Player down for Georgia Southwestern, and they will call on the medical staff. And Bryce Lawson will come out, athletic trainer for the Hurricanes, to check on the injured player. Well, still just under 8 minutes to go in this one as we look forward to what lies ahead for the Lady Hurricanes after today. Take a peek at that real quick. Next 6 matches for Georgia Southwestern as we look ahead. Their home, was this 3 matches? Yeah, 3-match homestand here comes to a close on Wednesday. Take note, that is the lone home afternoon match of the season. Shaw University, a new opponent, new challenge, and a new opponent for the Lady Hurricanes coming into town, and will play at 1 p.m. 1 o'clock your start time on Wednesday. That'll be followed by a men's match at 3:30, also against Shaw. So Wednesday, this 3-match homestand comes to a close. Then back to Peach Belt Conference play for the Lady Hurricanes. They still have 1 non-conference match on the docket, and that'll be right towards the end of the season on the 24th, Albany State. So the next match up on the screen, if we were to go a little further ahead, will be their last conference match of the year. But there's a look at what lies ahead for the Lady Hurricanes, at least as far as the next 6 matches go. Road matches at Young Harris and Flagler, and then the 13th and the 20th are Saturday contests. Home against UNC Pembroke on Saturday the 13th, and then home against USC Aiken on Saturday, October 20th. That's also the 3rd annual Canes Cornhole Championship. Free to play doubles tournament It'll be going on, starts before kickoff of the first match, which is actually the men's match that day. And it will go until completed. Double elimination, and it's free to play. $75 gift card to each member of the winning doubles team, and a $25 gift card to each member of the second place team. We'll feed you. Gonna have the grill going that day. We've got drinks for all of our participants, and it'll be a lot of fun. Third annual Canes Cornhole Championship on that Saturday, October 20th. 4 o'clock is when the cornhole begins. 5 o'clock is the first match of that evening. And you can sign up for free, real brief form on our website, gswcanes.com. Josie Nix in the rush to get to the corner. Won't get there ahead, but forces the kick out of bounds, and a throw in coming for GSW. Cochran with the throw in. She finds Barr. Barr back to Cochran. Cochran with a long kick. Short hop by the keeper. And Francis Marion brings it down the field, flicks it over. Kicked away. Francis Marion looking to make a substitution at their next opportunity. Number 23 will be checking back into the match for the Patriots. Uh-oh, big time numbers in their favor. First they'll take the kick. And a substitution for Francis Marion. Francis Marion substitution back in the match, number 23, Anna Capra. Bouncing around. Checking in for Francis Marion will be number 14, Sierra Cartano. She was one of the original 11 to start today. Five minutes to go. To Gustafson here on the near side. She's got some space. Now she'll meet up with a defender, down to the corner, down to the line. End line she goes. Gets the corner kick off the deflection. Good piece of work by Gustafson, not to the liking of Garnett. Obviously GSW will not be in any major rush to get this kick off. Well, last corner kick they had led to the only goal of the match. Let's see if GSW can play off the corner again, or if they'll do more of. Yeah, they're going to have to kind of keep an eye on the short dump off, because that'll just chew up some clock. That's what GSW does anyway. Now they'll bring it down. This one kicked away. Another corner kick. I don't think they're going to stop the clock on you kicking the ball out of bounds. So that won't happen. We're going to keep it rolling. GSW, of course, not sprinting to the ball, but hopefully they'll put it back in play here quickly, and they do. Kick in, keeper stop. It came out of her glove for a second twice. foul on the Lady Hurricanes. And here we go. Oh, foul called on Francis Marion. GSW possession. So I mentioned. And they'll stop the clock with that. (13:15) on the game clock. We're just about 2 or 3 seconds off the game clock here. Francis Marion's got something. Careful up there. Careful now. Stop the clock. No, we got it. And I think this is not good news for Georgia Southwestern. The clock is sitting at 3 minutes, folks, and now, oh my goodness, I think this will be a penalty kick. She was just inside the top of the 18 box, just probably about a foot inside of it. It's the right call, but if I saw it correctly, and it looks like they're set up for a PK ensuing here for Francis Marion with 3 minutes on the clock. We'll let our clock catch up. 3 minutes to go on the match clock. Wow, well, Rodriguez, this is tough. You got one? Alina, see what you can do. Here it comes. The kick is away. The kick is a top shelf right goal. Francis Marion converts the penalty kick. This match all square at 1 apiece. Wow. So that penalty kick, if I've... Top shelf, nice placement on the PK. That was going to be near impossible to stop. A great spot. Top shelf delivering the equalizer. And 3 minutes to go. Play whistle blown, play goes on. Under 3 minutes to go, all square, 1 apiece. Handball on GSW, let's go, gotta move, gotta be ready. Francis Marion obviously wants to capitalize on this momentum and the energy they've got going. They're gonna try to end it in regulation as well, of course. 2.5. Uh-oh, gotta get this out of, that's a push. No call, there we go, outside. Throw in coming for Francis Marion. Coach telling our players, if you couldn't hear that from off our microphone, just relax, says Coach. Coach Morgan, relax. We got it. This is keep it on our end for the final 2.5, I'm sure, and let's see what can come of it. Ladies fighting. Minute 50 seconds. GSW with the goal kick coming up. Well, it's been an exciting finish. 90 seconds to go, and before we would head to overtime. Kick away. Headed in. Got to go. Oh, going to let it bounce out. And she'll chew up a little bit more clock here. One minute remaining in the second half. 1 minute. Breakaway. Here we go. 2-on-2. Has to turn. Trying to get it out wide. Now it'll get to the boot of 7. Just in time. Ahmed just in time. Will they stop the clock? They are with 26 seconds to go. So the clock stops. We'll reset it. 26 seconds. I can't get that to pop up for you. We got to change that. Still checking on the player down for Francis Marion. Let's see if we can get that right in sync here. There we go. Well, this player now sitting up for Francis Marion. Looks like she's about to stand up. GSW will talk things over. Both teams getting a drink of water, talking out the final few seconds. Player now walking off. A little wobbly. It's the training staff checking on her. Let's see who that is, if I can get you a number. Francis Marion folks probably recognize the long braided ponytail. Hopefully she'll be all right. Number 7. Number 7 for Francis Marion, Jessica Garnett. Coach talking to his team. You can perhaps hear him. Challenging his girls. It's a battle, he says. 20 seconds to go. Mentioned it earlier. Quick plug. Canes Cornhole Championship, October 20th, 4 o'clock start. Sign up online on our website, gswcanes.com. It's free to play. Should be a lot of fun. Team's finally getting back into position.
Get back in nicely, quickly, let's go! Come on, girls, let's go! Can we support, guys? We'll be watching. Can we support?
Final countdown coming up. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Well, 90 minutes was not enough. We're going to go to overtime. The teams will get a quick break. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a 5-minute break. Lady Canes, Francis Marion, all square. 90 minutes, not enough to settle this one. We're going to go into overtime. For those of you unfamiliar with the rules, most of you probably know how this plays out. 2 overtime sessions if necessary. First team to score a goal would end it, but if necessary, they would play a second overtime period. 10 minutes for each. And we'll see where this one goes. It's been fun so far. We'll take a quick look at the stats for you. Let's pull up our... We're heading overtime, folks. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to mute it because we'll play a quick song while the teams are taking their break, and we will be back. We don't want to break those YouTube copyright infringements, so we're going to mute our sound, but we'll be back in just a moment for overtime between Francis Marion University and Georgia's Southwestern State University Peach Belt Conference Women's Soccer here on the Surge Sports Network. Overtime underway here from Hurricane Field. We'll get the clock squared away on your graphic there, but still at 1. Again, heading to overtime, 1 goal apiece. Overtime number 1, 10 minutes golden goal. First team to score would end it. Let's get your scoreboard up to snuff here. Oh boy. Almost a quick strike and a quick end of this one, but GSW quickly wait to catch up. There we go. Minute played. GSW tries to answer. Hand is up, corner kick away for the Lady Hurricanes. It's a pretty good one to the middle. Header! Oh, had somebody on the post, was right there to defend it. Deflected away, this header there. GSW can't punch it in. Woo! Substitutions for Francis Marion, number 4, number 7 to check in for FMU. Substitutions for Francis Marion, number 4, Kylie Barr, number 7, Jessica Garnett. Garnett, the one that was injured at the end of regulation and came off the field after a stoppage of play. So good to see that she's all right and back out there competing in this one. Ooh, that short kick picked off by Francis Marion, but the deflection bounces in a way that helps the GSW defense. Cochran on it, back to the middle. Just looking for her intended target. And Donka out there for GSW. Now to the other side we'll go. Francis Marion on the attack. Couple of strides, there's the kick, inside, header flicked. Pretty good attempt from right there. Little bit of enough time for Rodriguez to get over and then get in position to catch the waist high header. Alina with the save, however, and things have opened up a little bit as the teams have marched back and forth here. It's a fast, frantic pace to the start of the overtime session. 6 minutes in overtime, number 1. Francis Marion looking to make a substitution at the next opportunity, and it'll be number 13, Rihanna Orello, to try to get back into the match when she can. There's the pass. Cochran heads it back to her. This kick will go up over the top. And Rodriguez down there to catch it on the bounce. Aggressive lead roll out to, this never was in sync on that exchange. Just never quite in sync. And now coach is explaining that to his keeper. Francis Marion's substitution was number 13, Rihanna Orello. Foul called on Lady Hurricanes. They'll put it down, and here. Set the ball down, get back into position. Stat comparison here, moving a little bit into these stats will include some of the overtime play, or all the overtime play at this point. Francis Marion with a 15-8 shots advantage, 11-4 the count when it comes to shots on goal in favor of the Patriots. 4 saves for for Francis Marion, 11 for GSW. Corner kicks, 3. That can't be right. GSW has more than 1 corner kick. My feed froze. That's not going to help give you accurate statistics now, is it? Let's refresh. There we go. And you guys that were following along saw that those numbers were a little off. Quick refresh of the feed will produce these kind of figures. Headed into this 18, bouncing around. Just with an opportunity deflection. And it is saved by the keeper. The accurate numbers here now are 22-15 is the shot count. Stopping the clock. 3:28. Get that clocked up to speed for you. 22-15 the shot count. Start the clock. Start the clock. Francis Marion will go to its bench one more time. Another substitution in overtime, trying to keep the legs as fresh as possible at this point. Maybe just get that extra half step to get past GSW. It'll be number 19 checking in for Francis Marion, Sarah Mall. 22-15 shots, 15-10 the difference in shots on goal. Corner kicks, GSW with 5, Francis Marion with 4. Offsides are even at 3 apiece. Fouls, 10 have been whistled against Francis Marion, 16 against GSW. 2:40 the time on the official match clock. So they're a little bit behind me with their delay of play earlier. Race to the ball. There's Barr. Kick away, and she just forced herself a corner kick. Well, and a ball that rolled past everybody. It was that good speed and that attack by Barr that forced GSW to kick it out and set up. Not a corner, but thankfully a throw in. This one, high lofting ball, headed back out of the 18. Now GSW will track it down. And they're going to call the foul on Georgia Southwestern. Minute and 30 seconds to go. They'll roll the ball up and try to get in position. I'm sure he's going to have to wave back the GSW players here. He'll walk them back a few. A minute, approaching 1 minute. This big exchange right here. 1 minute remaining in overtime, 1 minute. Kick is away. High ball, headed away. First touch, good job by GSW to be the one to get the head on it first. I believe that was Mendonca. Nope, she's actually here on the near side. That wasn't Mendonca, that was Baker with a great head away on that one. Mendonca right down here by the throw-in. 20 seconds to go. Inside, can't quite get the shot off. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Well, one overtime was not enough. It'll all come down to a final 10 minutes in this one. No score in our opening overtime session. Locked up at 1, FMU GSW. We'll be back in a moment. We'll mute it again. Muted again for halftime. One quick song, a very quick break. I think this one's only 2 minutes long. And we'll be back on In Action here in just a moment on the Surge Sports Network, Georgia Southwestern's home for the home for Georgia Southwestern State University women's soccer. There you go. You're watching the Surge Sports Network. Enjoy. We'll be back in a moment for the finale. A quick corner kick opportunity for Francis Marion. Not even 20 minutes in, 20 seconds in rather. There's the kick, a low ball that's able to be kicked away by the GSW defense. Second and final overtime period if you're just tuning in. And these ladies in the humidity, even with a breeze, both teams' jerseys just drenched in sweat. So muggy, so humid. Little relief from that breeze for them down there, and now you throw in an extra 20, potentially an extra 20 minutes of playing time, along with what they were doing last night and the half they played. Probably starting to be some tired legs out there. We'll see which side, if any, still has that burst to get the decisive score and the golden goal here in this one. A little miscommunication. Francis Marion will feed it in. And there's a race to the ball on this one. Good play by Rodriguez to come up. As looked like the charging player, I believe that was Allen, seemed to have a little separation, as she was probably going to be the first one there if Rodriguez didn't come up and make the play. Here we go. Just trying to dribble in. Ball to Rugel. Rugel gets around the defender. Now she's got some space, this one. An easy stop for Francis Marion and an easy stop for Hennenkamp. First touch, GSW. That'll be Baker again. Here comes Ahmed. Looking the flick. Thankfully, that one off the inside of her foot bounces to Rugel. Otherwise, potential was there for a little bit of a surge for the Patriots, rather. Bouncing around off the chest of Barr. She'll turn it, flick it over. Orella kind of flicks it in with her toe. And Rodriguez slides over to her right and makes the stop. 6.5 to go in this one, second overtime period. Foul called on Georgia Southwestern. Again, both these schools looking for their first result of the season in Peach Belt play. 0-3 for the Patriots and Lady Canes. Francis Marion 2-5 overall with their record. GSW 2-6. Hands up. Couple steps. Here's the kick. Punching it up. Bouncing around. It's out. Who will get there? That was Shelby Mills who got in the mix on that one. Here's Gustafson. You know, we introduced you to her before, and if you've watched our broadcast, you are aware. Michelle, the Female Scholar Athlete of the Year last year for Georgia Southwestern. So not only is she anchoring the defensive side, but she is knocking it out of the park in the classroom as well. Again, the Female Scholar Athlete of the Year is number 4 for the Lady Hurricanes, Michelle Gustafson. Substitution is in. 5 minutes to go. Good. Back to Ahmed. Player down. Rugel's down. Foul called on the Patriots. Time ticking away. Now it'll be down here. It'll be, yep, Ahmed will take the kick. Hand is up, and here we go. There's the boot. Big header up in the air. Next touch will still leave us to undecisive possession. Eventually it'll go to Frances Marion on the throw-in. There's Gustafson again. She gets it back. Due to just punching it through. Nope, Hawkins just not quite. A little too much. 4 minutes to go. Good job by Baker. The quicker bar, but Baker used her body to shield the ball. All right, we have a substitution for Frances Marion. Checking into the match for Frances Marion is number 9, Christina Rice. So Rice, a freshman, makes her appearance here in overtime. Try to give a little spark. Fresh legs. Ooh, get it out of there. Good. Ahmed punching it through. Here comes Just. There's the pass ahead. Bounce up in the air. Ooh, little too much. That one over her head. And an offsides has been whistled on the Lady Canes as well. Well, GSW, I mentioned earlier for the Lady Hurricanes, again, the 3-minute window not favorable in regulation for GSW. Kicked away, throw incoming. I mentioned the last Peach Belt Conference win for Georgia Southwestern came in 2010. And they will not get a decision here. That was going to be a draw in 2013, but 2:20 on the clock and heartbreak for the Lady Hurricanes. Frances Marion, after all this extra half yesterday, now a couple of extra overtime sessions, Frances Marion ends this one in the final seconds, in fact 2:21 when the clock was stopped, to come and put an end to this match. 2:21 on the clock when it was scored. And we'll try to just put that up there for official sake, but this one is over. It's done. The visitors from Frances Marion will have a little happier ride back to Florence, South Carolina tonight as they get the double overtime win, 2-1 on a header in the closing seconds. We'll announce it for the crowd, do a very quick wrap-up, and that'll be it. You've been with us for a day and a half now. We appreciate it. We'll be back in a moment for the wrap-up here from Hurricane Field. Hang with us. You're watching GSW Women's Soccer on the Surge Sports Network. And that'll do it for tonight's Peach Belt Conference match. Visitors from Frances Marion, double overtime win 2-1. We appreciate you coming out to support the Lady Hurricanes. This brings to an end their 3-match homestand. GSW, no, I take that back. Wednesday. Let's not forget Wednesday afternoon. Hopefully you got a chance to come back here Wednesday afternoon, 1 o'clock the start time against Shaw University. This Wednesday, our only afternoon match, home match of the season. 1 o'clock the start time against Shaw. 3:30 the men will follow against Shaw. That's this Wednesday. Then the Lady Hurricanes are on the road for a couple matches before Saturdays fill up the rest of their schedule, or the remainder of most of the schedule. The 13th against Pembroke, the 20th against USC Aiken. But next up for the Lady Hurricanes, a non-conference match against Shaw University. Again, that'll be this Wednesday at 1 p.m. If you can't get off work or can't get out here to support the Lady Hurricanes, you can still watch wherever you may be. Live stats and streaming video will be available. The links are on our website in the calendar section. GSWCanes.com, GSWCanes.com. But don't forget, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch the video from wherever you may be. GSW Athletics is how you can find us on YouTube. GSW Athletics. GSW Athletics.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can get that alert when we go live on Wednesday, just a few minutes before kickoff at 1 p.m. on the Surge Sports Network. Thanks for coming out today, wherever you may be traveling this evening. We hope you get there safely, and we look forward to seeing you back here on Wednesday afternoon against Shaw.
Well, you heard the announcements there. That pretty much wraps it up from Hurricane Field. Let's see if we've got any kind of last-minute stats for those of you that may be curious how everything played out. The overtime goal was scored by Christina Rice. So there you go. She just subbed in overtime, in the second overtime, and managed to come in and make her presence felt with the decisive and game-winning score for Francis Marion. Final stats look a little something like this, I believe. Let's see if we can get that. We'll just refresh it just to make sure, since I didn't have that luck last time. 25 shots, 25-17, the shot differential in this one in favor of the Patriots. 18 on goal, 12 on goal by the Lady Hurricanes. Corner kicks, 5 for each team. Offsides were 3 for each team. Fouls, GSW was whistled for 18 infractions. Francis Marion, 11 in this one. Hennenkamp made 9 saves for Francis Marion. The team helped her out with a couple saves as well. Alina Rodriguez made her debut for Georgia Southwestern, and she stopped 14 between the pipes today for GSW. The Lady Hurricanes defense stopped 2 to help out Rodriguez along the way. So that's it. Final summary on the scoring. It was Mendonca. That's what I thought. Mendonca got up, made the save. Figured it was a little bit larger target. Mendonca with the header off an assist from Jasmine Westbrook gave the Lady Hurricanes the early lead, but the final 2 scores came from Francis Marion. It was Daly McEwen, who now has the team lead, or had the team lead, and I believe that's her 7th goal of the season for Francis Marion. And Christina Rice was the one that ended it off, an assist by Kylie Barr, a header that got past Rodriguez diving to her right. She found the left side of the net for the decisive score. With the win, Francis Marion improves its record to 3-5 overall this season, 1-3 in Peach Belt Conference play. Georgia Southwestern dips to 2-7 overall and 0-4 in the Peach Belt. We thank you for tuning in. You heard me mention it. Next broadcast will be this Wednesday, just a few minutes before kickoff, a 1 o'clock start against Shaw University right here on our Surge Sports Network home on YouTube. You can subscribe today. GSW Athletics is the channel on YouTube. GSW Athletics, the hub of our Surge Sports Network family. GSW Athletics on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel today. I thank those that did today. We picked up a few new subscribers, and they'll know when we go live because you can get that alert of when we are on the air. And again, it'll be a few minutes before 1 o'clock kickoff on Wednesday against Shaw University to close out this 3-match homestand. Thanks for tuning in today. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Wish Francis Marion a safe trip home and a little bit happier bus ride now for the Patriots as they pull off the double overtime 2-1 win here from Hurricane Field in Americus. Thanks for tuning in. You have been watching Georgia Southwestern State University Women's Soccer Peach Belt Conference action on the Surge Sports Network.